Welcome to the 6:50 News. I'm Kijan Henry at Timbe in Douala. Thanks for joining us. And we have our headlines. Organizers of a New Year party in a school that led to the death of 4 adolescents in Douala maintain sealed lips as families of victims remain unconsolable. The 4 children died as a result of a stampede, and government on an aggressive fight to stamp out sachet whiskey is on. Those were our top stories. Thanks and welcome to join me, Kijan Henry, at before the 6:50 News. You can hook up with us on our Facebook page as well as on our YouTube handle. We begin in Douala, where families of adolescents who died in a stampede at a private primary school in Douala remain unconsolable 2 days after the unfortunate incident. The school authorities continued to function normally as if nothing had happened, while organizers of that event that took place on New Year's Day continue or have maintained sealed lips. Maureen D recounts the ordeal which left at least 4 children dead.
The pictures on the burial programs of these adolescents speak of how young and innocent they were. News of their deaths continue to pull crowds at the family residence in Bepanda Douala in Cameroon's economic capital. Painful moments for family members who continue to question the circumstances leading to the death of the adolescents. Frida Danielle, both 15 and 16 years old, and 2 others died following a stampede at the private primary school better known as Groupe Scolaire La Marseille. The tragic incident occurred on the night of January 1, breaking January 2 this year. The children were feasting the new year with their peers in a fiesta when they were alerted on the presence of gangsters in the area. Everyone panicked, trying to run for safety. In the course of self-rescue, some trampled on others who had fallen on the ground. Many sustained injuries and were rushed to the hospital. Some were, however, not lucky enough as they died on the way. It all happened before my own eyes, and the person at the center of the disorder outside finally got inside and started screaming that the microbes were around. Everyone panicked and everyone started running for safety. Many walked on others. I was lucky enough to be rescued. I incurred wounds while others died. I lost my younger sister. This mother remains helpless in the face of the situation. Shockingly, the school opens its doors the next day, despite a deadly incident. The director of the school told us off camera that organizers of the so-called New Fiesta Night had always brandished authorization from the divisional officer of Douala 5 to use the school premises for their celebrations. It's not the first time they had organized such a fiesta night with adolescents taking part, but this time around it was deadly. Even the organizers of the event have maintained sealed lips on the incidents. Meantime, many people, including the classmates of the deceased adolescents, continue to flood the family residence to condole with the bereaved families. The burial programs might be out, but family members say the death of their children remains a bitter pill to swallow.
Very unfortunate there, thanks Maureen D. A gang of 4 suspects specialized in kidnapping for ransom in Toujours, that is in the north region of Cameroon, has been neutralized. The arrest came after several complaints from the population to denounce all suspects. Once more, Maureen.
In the north region of Cameroon, kidnappers have created fear, pushing many to move away from their localities. The situation in Toujours, in Mayore division, is disturbing as the number of kidnappings for ransom keeps increasing by the day. It's a gang of 4 suspects specialized in kidnappings for ransom. The head of the gang is 27. The alleged criminals broke into people's homes, that threatened and asked them to leave their houses and follow them right away. The criminals operate in complete impunity. Among those who constantly terrorize the population is this gang of 4. The gang is specialized in armed robbery attacks and kidnappings for ransom. The arrest has been saluted by the population. A majority of the people told us they constantly live in the fear of the unknown. The numerous complaints in different police stations have pushed security officers to multiply tactics to counter the growing phenomenon.
8 years after the government officially banned the sale of whiskey in plastic bags in Cameroon, the decision is still to be very effective. But Cameroon Association of Cameroon Consumers says that while educating the population and vendors against the sale and consumption of sachet whiskey or adulterated liquor in plastic bag is the action that will lead to the crackdown of the vendors in Douala. Ambo Gladys Dibang reports.
From one shop to the other and on streets in Douala, Cameroon, vendors of whiskey in plastic bags have been sensitized on the dangers of selling the adulterated whiskey. Members of the Cameroon Consumers Association are presenting to the population government's 2014 decision that prohibited the sale of the harmful liquor as from September 12, 2016. These vendors sell in illegality. Most of them have clandestine drinking spots. Whiskey in plastic bag is a prohibited product. It kills. Although the action has been commended by some consumers and non-consumers, they however recommend the initiators to tackle the root cause. Instead of educating the population on the sales prohibition of the product, the association should rather meet the manufacturers and tell them to stop production. We have been battling with the manufacturers of adulterated whiskey for years, and all they claim is that they have a moratorium since 2014. Most of those who sell don't even have authorizations to sell liquor. Most consumers claim they are aware of the dangers, yet they consume the adulterated whiskey due to lack of means to purchase quality whiskey. I have the habit of drinking whiskey in plastic bags, but I know it's not good for my health. But I don't have the money to buy quality whiskey that can cost at least 10,000 CFA francs. During the sensitization exercise, whiskey in plastic bags were also seized from some vendors and set ablaze. It should be noted that after government's ban in 2014, the decision was extended to 2016 to permit producers and retailers exhaust their supplies, but the decision has never been respected.
2023 is for this on, and many Cameroonians are starting the year with the realities of high cost of living. And with the skyrocketing prices of basic necessities, many are of the opinion that the future is extremely bleak. But how are Cameroonians coping with the bleak future of skyrocketed prices? Hyacinth Chia went finding out from Yaoundé residents on how they are preparing to confront the hard times.
Vous augmentez tout. Finalement, vous voulez qu'on fasse comment?
Ça va de mal en pire. Ça ne peut pas changer.
The views of Yaoundé city dwellers on the year 2023 are those of doubts and fear of what the economy holds for them with the escalating prices of basic commodities.
I see it like a year that will be full of challenges.
It will be very difficult this year. 2023 will be very difficult.
But how ready are they to tackle the huge challenges?
Even if we are scared, what do? We just adapt to what it has always been like that, so there is no problem of getting scared.
As usual, as a good Cameroonian, we must struggle. We must count on the fighting spirit of Cameroonians. It is not easy at all, and we know that we must struggle, we must work very hard, yes, in order to cope with it.
Je suis un bon Bamileke. Quand nous avons quelque chose, on ne mange pas tout. On se dit que demain, rien ne pourra venir, donc même s'il fait 6 mois, donc rien, on va toujours vivre.
time for Cameroonians to review their daily spending and consolidate the aspect of solidarity.
So my advice to every Cameroonian is that we should minimize costs. We should be very economical with the small resources that we have. No room for waste. Those that have, be a channel to those that do not have.
While many describe the situation as temporal, others say surviving under the current circumstances is only through the mercy of the Almighty.
There will be a time that will come out of this. That's what I believe.
God says He will make a way for us, even in the desert. I strongly believe that God will make a way for us in this desert, in this year, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ.
Some have equally reiterated that they will make use of their little farmlands more than ever before to be able to produce a greater percentage of what they consume.
Well, thanks very much, Hasinchia. Littoral Governor Samuel Dieudonné Ivahadibois has expressed satisfaction over the relative calm which has returned in the littoral region despite security threats by urban gangsters called Lemicrobe. This was in a press briefing this January, or rather this Wednesday in Douala, as we get from our reporter Stephanie Chin.
In a press briefing this Wednesday, January 4, Littoral Governor Samuel Ivahadibois showered New Year wishes to the public with a gesture translating joy and satisfaction.
I want to extend my greetings to all the inhabitants of the Littoral region to say Happy New Year 2023, and let everybody have a prosperous New Year.
An opportunity which the governor sees to rate the security level of the littoral region while congratulating the forces of law and order together with the population for their close collaboration to stamp out rising city crimes perpetrated by urban gangsters who go by the name Lemicrobe.
The forces of law and the populations all together fought against the bandits. We caught about 1,280 motorbicycles, and we want to congratulate this kind of maturity.
During the press outing, Governor Ivaha encouraged the population to actively take part in the upcoming senatorial election. He also called on political parties to follow rules and regulations put in place.
Be ready to perform for those who want to be candidates, and also for the political parties. I'm asking to be disciplined so that we can move ahead.
In all, the governor has called on the population to continue to collaborate with the forces of law and order in order to ensure that the littoral region is counted amongst the regions which foster peace and order.
And over to the far north region of the country, the University of Marwa has examined and adopted the 2023 budget of that institution. The budget stands at about 8.7 billion CFA francs and would be used for investment and operations. Gladys Ambo Dibang reports.
From the 8.7 billion francs CFA budget for the University of Marwa in the far north region of Cameroon for 2023, 1.7 billion CFA francs will be used for investment and 7.4 billion francs CFA for operations. This was examined and adopted during the 28th ordinary session of the Board of Directors meeting that took place recently at the campus of the institution at Kongola, Djoukov Kodek, chaired by Dr. Abubakar Saki. The report examined also focused on the budget for support and teaching staff, updates on the creation and launch of the Kuseri teaching site of the University of Marwa. It should be noted that the secondary campus has been officially granted the university. The announcement was made by Head of State, Paul Biya.
And on the occasion of World Braille Day, this January 4, 2023, coming on the heels of back to school for the second term, children with visual impairment are also back in school amid the lack of basic or adequate equipment and trained teachers. These days is an opportunity to raise awareness about the importance of literacy and education for children with visual impairment, and of course, inclusive education. Beatrice Ngamo reports.
The Braille system, which is based on a series of raised dots arranged in 3 rows of 2 dots each that can be read with the fingertips, have given millions of people who are blind or visually impaired the ability to read and write, and has greatly increased their independence and ability to participate fully in society. The ritual initiation being implanted in these young visually impaired children with special education needs here in Yaoundé. The few who made it to this school acquired the basics necessary to continue their education. Talking about education in the basic sector, some 60 schools are inclusive establishments today where they learn in Braille.
Unfortunately, they have limited Braille teachers specialists.
Secondary education sector for some time now has evolved also, as certain teachers training colleges have Braille and sign languages. This notwithstanding, the way is still long. Children in the hinterlands and even those in big towns have difficult access to specialized didactic material.
Braille learning requires specialized didactic materials, which is not produced in Cameroon, expensive and also scarce.
The World Braille Day, this January 4, 2023, time to raise awareness about the importance of literacy and education for persons who are blind and visually impaired, and celebrate the contribution of Louis Braille. Moment to recognize the many advances in assistive technology that have made it easier for people with visual impairment to access information and communicate with others.
Well, thanks, Beatrice. We stay with you as you're telling us that the Harmattan season has come with a lot of dust in the city of Yaoundé, and of course, this comes too with some diseases or airborne diseases. How are Yaoundé inhabitants coping in this particular Harmattan?
The Harmattan season is here once more. Dusty winds, thick hazes, dry air that carries dust, pollen and other allergens the other. Dusting now and again with a piece of towel the most now, like here in this restaurant. Watering is also the choice most people use to reduce the dust before sweeping. Some even go as far as washing verandas to protect the interior. The market, like Ed roads, homes, none is exempted. The Harmattan season has come with its own discomfort, which we have to live with, but in the most safe and healthy manner. This lately has become her routine every morning like evening. What was formerly for chasing flies and other pests, now duster. Nose mask, handkerchief, and other face protectors, important especially when it is windy. What COVID-19 introduced has become another protection element for individuals. And for dust, about 2 or 3 masks is used in a day, especially by traders in the market. The eyes are not also safe. Rubs and others, what many use to protect themselves from respiratory diseases like the common cold, sneezing, and catarrh. The wet wipes, the ever-ready option for others who can afford them. Dusting often, watering, washing, daily cleaning rows, covering the doors like windows early in the evening, keeping body, especially the face, well protected when moving around, staying hydrated. Easy tips that can carry us all through this season, as prevention is the best cure.
Thanks, Beatrice Ngamo, and that report brings us to the end of this 6:15 news. I've been Kejang Henry, thanking you for your kind attention. See you tomorrow.